What is going on, everybody? And welcome in to another Football Smack Talk show. Unfortunately, this is not a Victory Monday,
No.
as we had, a rough game to say the least, and we're here to
Yeah.
talk about it. So if you're out there or you want to commiserate with us, please come on in, give it a like, follow, and a share, and tell us what you're thinking. Tell us how deep in line are you at the Ben, ready to jump off, or are you calm, cool, and collected, and ready for the bye week, rest up, and ready to start this? Well, can't even call it the second half of the season with such an early bye, but
Right.
get ready for the rest of the season. Eric, what about you? Where are you at?
Well, look, I'd like to say I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I certainly have not been encouraged by what I've seen from Jalen. He's turned the ball over 2 times in each game that we've played. Like, that's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. They are, at this point, like, I will say, they are absolutely irresponsible with the football. They just are. And defensively, it didn't look like they were ready to play yesterday. Offensively, they couldn't get a yard, before the Bucks had 24 points on the board. Like, you can't spot a team 24 points before you get a single yard and expect to compete in any game. You just can't. And the fact that they turned it into any kind of game for a little bit is just, a testament to the makeup of this team and the character of a lot of these guys. They were not playing with their full flight of receivers. Look, but nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. There's injuries all across the league. I mean, how would you like to be the Kansas City Chiefs, who right now are worried about their top receiver, Rasheed Rice, being done for the year?
Yeah, sure.
Or Tua Tagovailoa, like a lot of people think he should just retire with the concussions he's had.
So you say that you're somewhere in the middle, but then
I'm not ready to write off. I'm not ready
then
to write off the season. I'm not ready to fire the coach and get rid of the quarterback. But I'm
oh
not. I'm not feeling very encouraged right now.
no, you're not ready to. I mean, listen, if only we had the cameras rolling in the pregame, you were ready to ship
Well, I was.
Jalen Hurts off.
I
You
was spent.
literally said, "Get him out of here."
Well,
Did you
no.
not?
What I said was,
Did
you
you not?
said you were talking
Did you not?
about a fantasy trade and said somebody could have Jalen Hurts, and I said, yeah, a lot of teams could maybe have Jalen Hurts in like a tongue in cheek kind of
AKA,
way, playing off what you were saying.
AKA,
But yeah,
you said
I'm very
Jalen Hurts,
discouraged.
get the F out of Philly. Your quote.
That's not what I said.
That's what we heard. That's what the whole world heard.
You know what?
Sam,
You want a
check in.
job
What's
writing
up,
for the
buddy?
media somewhere? You could cover a great politician.
What's up, fellas? Nick on thin ice. Okay. Can I address that? Because I'm not a fan of this whole let's jump on Nick Sirianni's back. Because I think Nick is the type of guy that's going like again, I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, he said it was his fault. Like, obviously, Nick's the type of coach that's going to
Well, yeah,
jump on
that's
the
what every coach does. I don't blame him for
not,
that.
well,
Yeah,
not every coach,
yeah.
not every coach, but yes, for the majority, you're right. A coach, that's what's what a
Okay,
coach
that's what every coach should do. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I think people, maybe some fans take that the wrong way and maybe take that to heart. But listen, it's regardless, and I'm not using this as an excuse. I just don't think in any world you play that game, whether you're ready for it, whether you're not, whether you guys are fired up, whether or not whatever. I think 10 times out of 10 they lose that game. You don't have your two best weapons, and you also don't have a Hall of Fame right tackle, which statistically you are garbage when he is not in the game. Plain and simple, the win-loss ratio when Lane Johnson is not there, it's Not good.
Oh, it's
You
rough.
combine that with, playing in overly hot conditions. How many times did people have to go out and come back in because of heat related, illness, if you will. You combine all that with, again, a defense that we already know is not good. I think they played a little bit above their head last week against the Saints, came back down, down to earth against the Bucks. It's kinda gonna be like that for that defense. It's gonna be up and down. Especially if we're not gonna get any pass rush. If Josh or I'm sorry, if Bryce Huff, is
I did that
basically
yesterday too, called him Josh Huff, yeah.
I know. If Bryce Huff is basically just going to stand there and not do absolutely a single thing, we might as well have, one of the young kids get in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we still put up with that, but, um, anyway, Hurts is starting to look like Wentz at this point in the season. I will not, comment further. Amazing how many fans are willing to jump ship after every loss. True Eagles fan believe Gene. Absolutely, David. I
Well,
couldn't
yeah,
I
I mean,
couldn't agree with
I'm not jumping ship. I'm here. Imma be here.
Hey, anyway, David
I'm not
says,
jumping ship.
"Trying to hear
I'm a
all the way
Birds
loud.
fan through and through. I'm just gonna call it like I see it.
Cut Bryce and Rogers." Well, yeah, listen, Rogers, that was, some boneheaded
Yeah,
plays.
that was dumb. That wasn't smart.
So I think it was just more of a perfect storm of suckiness,
Yeah.
if you will, of, they're coming down. We didn't know if the game was gonna be played because of the hurricane. Then the hurricane changes direction, moves, and
Yeah, I was
now
gonna
it's
say it looks beautiful out there the whole
that's the
game.
thing that happens a lot of times in
Yeah.
after hurricanes, is when it moves out, it's the heat and the humidity come with it. It felt
Mhm.
like it was, 110 degrees down there. So you have that, you
You
again,
know
you're
something
missing.
about, hanging out in 110-degree heat. Remember from
That's
my
for sure.
wedding. That was a hot day.
It
Oof.
was. But yeah, so you have that. You're missing important players. Your number one wide receiver has only been there for a few weeks, so he doesn't really know much. You're not really targeting him. But I think what and again, the coaches didn't play well. They didn't have them ready. And they didn't really adjust much other than the beginning of the first half. I thought it was a good adjustment. They got back into the game, and then, their stupid
Mhm,
play and their terrible defense kind of, led them the rest of the way. But I will say this one, um,
mhm.
we need to stop the Nick Sirianni crap. Like, listen, I get it. You may not be a fan of his. I get it. You may hate him. You may think he's the worst coach we've ever had. And that's all fine
Not
and
as long as Rich Coates still counts.
obviously, right? But
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic of creating that buzz of something else to hang over this team. That's the last thing that this team needs, that the city needs is constant, "Oh, man, is Nick Sirianni the coach? Is he gonna get fired this week? Is he gonna get fired in the bye week?" Honestly, if you're one of those fans, please shut up. Honestly, you were part of the problem. Stop it, because the media is trying to goat you into it, and the 97.5s and the 94.1s, that's all they wanna do. I'm pretty sure 94.1 put out, like, multiple polls today on
Oh,
Twitter
boy.
about whether or not they should be firing Sirianni. And then all that does is just get a frenzy going, and then this negative, connotation just sits over this team, and it's an added stress, and they are part of the problem, but you are part of the problem if you feed into it. Stop it. Listen, hate him all you want. He's not gonna get fired. He's just not.
Sure.
They're not gonna fire him in the middle of the season unless they just lose every game. They're 2 and 2. They're still figuring out. They know they have a bad defense. They're trying to figure it out. They know they've had some injuries. They're trying to figure, around that. But please, I'm begging you people, stop. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Stop, dude. You don't feed into it. They are not going to fire Sirianni. And again, I don't care if you love him, you hate him, you want him out of this town. Talking about it is part of the problem. It just is. It just creates this, and then that's all that the media talks about. They pick up on it. They
Mhm.
continue to double down on it, and you know that this team hears it. You know this team. It's not just like, oh well, they're not. It's not going to get back to them. Sirianni hears it. The players hear it, and if they start hearing it every day and every time the meet, whatever.
Right.
What do you think that's gonna do to you? Like, if you mentally went and said, "Your job right now," you say you love your
Mhm.
boss, and you enjoy your job, and you're
Mhm.
listen, some days you have hard days, some days, great days, whatever. But then all of a sudden, you hear from a customer or something that says, "Oh, man, I heard they were gonna let, you know, blah, blah, blah go, and, doing a terrible job and blah, 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 blah." And then you just kept hearing that and hearing that and hearing that and hearing that. What do you think that would do to you and your opinion of your manager?
Well, not only that, it would lower my morale just at work. Just the thought,
Sure.
like, whether I like that manager or not, I would still have that opinion. Look, if they can go, then any of us can go. And it would create an uncertainty for me that I don't think, for me anyway, I don't think I'd perform well in that scenario.
Right. So it's another thing on
Yeah,
your
no, I agree with you.
on
Here's
your
the
mind that
thing.
doing your
I
job.
I I don't like if this team were say 2-7. I think it's worth having a discussion on air
Sure,
saying, "Hey, is Nick
sure.
Sirianni's job in jeopardy? Is it
Right.
now or is it at the end of the
Yes.
season?"
Right.
But this seems 2-2. Let's give them a chance. Like we always say this, man. I feel like it's every September and October. We say this month we're still figuring out who we are as a team.
Well, especially
Now, am I
considering
discouraged about some things? Sure.
obvious. Yes,
Am I
it's not been great.
encouraged about some things? Absolutely.
Sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
look, the defense didn't play what like yesterday was really the worst effort by the defense, but
Yeah.
like we've
There was
gotten, in
just
my
some
opinion,
mistakes
yeah,
left
in
and
my
right.
opinion, we've gotten three excellent efforts out of this defense,
Yeah, and
and then
listen,
one not so good. And
yeah.
look, I'll take 3-1 every day.
Yeah, you're right, and listen, unfortunately, you have, one play go the different way, we're 3 and 1,
Yeah. And now
So
look, and again, like a couple other plays don't go your way,
sure,
and you're 0-4. You are what you are. You're 2-2,
you are what you are,
and
right,
yeah,
and listen, we were literally playing without our 3 best players, and I'm not
yep,
here just to make excuses. They did play terrible, that no one stepped up, and it seems like we have 0 pass rush, which just allows, Baker Mayfield to look like Tom Brady out there. And that's a problem, and Howie
yep,
needs to do something, and I don't know what he can do because, again, you're in the middle of the season. There's not a lot of, just amazing pass rushers just sitting out there, but, there needs to be something. I don't know whether you maybe start playing Jalen Hunt. Bryce Huff
yeah,
is he's doing dog shit. So
yeah,
get him out there. Get him out of there. Like, he's just not doing anything. And listen, I get you're not playing Devin White. What's the harm? What's the
yeah.
harm? Like, I get it. Devin White obviously got beat out for a reason, but your defense also is kind of shitty. So I'd at least like to know if he's a shitty, defender, and we can cross him off the list and move on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Cross him off then.
Cross him off the list. Yeah. So listen, I get it. I just hate when fans just harp on it on a
Mhm.
certain something. And the next thing I'm gonna turn to is the Hurts thing. Has Hurts been great? No, he hasn't. Has he shown moments? Yes. Does he need to be a little bit better with the football? Absolutely. He needs to have a little bit more, pocket awareness. That fumble
Mhm.
should not have happened. He should have just honestly, he should have either just ducked down and taken the sack, or he should have ran forward further. He
Right.
just should have ran the ball. That interception again, not great either. But again, there were some encouraging things that I saw, but you're also again, he's not at full strength either. And for some reason, I think I'm more upset in this whole grand scheme of thing, and that's not being talked about is Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I
And
was just about to mention him. Yeah,
how in the world does does Nick Sirianni allow Kellen Moore to only call 10 rushes for Saquon Barkley? 10 rushes, mind you. Now, granted, obviously he had that like 59-yard rush, but
sure.
his stat for the game 10 for 84, which is obviously an 8.4 average. He had 2 catches for 32 yards, again, 16 average. How does he only get 4 targets in the pass game
Well,
and 10 total carries?
so 12 touches for your best offensive
Essentially 12
weapon
touches.
when
Meanwhile
your other
meanwhile,
two top
last week
weapons were out.
right, exactly. It would be
Yeah.
different if you had those 2.
Yeah,
Last
if you're
week
spreading the ball around and it's just he was the
sure,
odd man
right.
out this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last week against the Saints, 17 for 147, again, an 8.6 average with 2 touchdowns. He was targeted 4 times, caught 4 balls. So he had 21 touches. Great. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Around
21
20
touches is the right number. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Against the Falcons, 22 carries for 95 yards, a little less, 4.3 average, but he still, did rather well. And he was, again, targeted 5 times, caught the ball 4 times, 26 total touches. And then finally, the Green
And that's
Bay game,
probably right around when you want him. 26 touches. Yeah.
24 carries for 109, and he had 2 targets for 2 receptions. Again, 26 touches. So you had 26, 26, you had 21, and then you had 12.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
look, that was criminal. Like the fact that you only got Saquon the ball 12 times yesterday.
yeah, that I think is what the real issue is why we felt like when it's like almost like, "Oh, well, they're expecting us to use Saquon." Bro, regardless, he was running at an 8.5 clip. Now, yes, he had the 60 yarder, but
Sure.
still,
Yeah.
I get it. Still, no, it's not bad. You still gotta use him. That's what Moore got fired from Dallas. That's
Yeah.
what Moore got fired from Dallas.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
why. Yeah, Kellen Moore because he wouldn't. Yeah, he didn't adjust the. I know what was it the Green Bay playoff game where he didn't run the ball in the second half despite them having a big lead, and then Green Bay comes back and wins the game. Um,
yeah, listen again, I just don't understand it. Your 2 best wide receivers are out. You have your best wide receiver is still learning this offense.
right.
Um, here, this is so obviously Dallas Goedert had the most targets in 8, thank God.
Yeah.
It seemed like Dallas Goedert finally woke up from his freaking sleep, last week. I don't know where he was the
Yeah.
first 2 games, but, so he was 7 for 62, which is great. Calcaterra even got 2 targets. He caught one of them for
Yeah.
26 yards. Paris Campbell was, I thought, very good. Now, granted, they only kind of dinked and dunked to him, but he was
Sure.
4 for 17 for 4 targets. Jahan Dotson had 4 targets. He had 2 for 11. John Ross had 2 targets, only catching 1 for 6. The other one was like that 80-yard bomb. Jack
Right.
Stoll, the
Oh, your
awful
boy.
Jack Stoll somehow got into this game. He had 2 targets, 1 for 4. Johnny Wilson had a couple targets. Gainwell had 1. Neither of them caught the ball. So realistically, there were 29 total targets, only 18 receptions. Or for the flip side,
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, 47 targets for 30 receptions. They also had 2 running backs that had 10 carries.
Yeah. Yeah, two running backs on Tampa had the same number of carries as our star running back.
Yes. That I think was more of the issue with our offense. Again, the defense, there were a couple of times where they adjusted and I thought really well, but then, a stupid penalty here and there,
Mhm.
was awful. That first drive was piss poor. I think they only got them to third down twice during that first 70 odd yard drive.
Oh,
It was
that
not
was
great.
brutal. Yeah, but look, and that's one of those things that's early in the game. You can adjust and you can
Right.
like you can live with that on a first possession, and then say, okay, let's come out and adjust, and let's play some better defense on that next drive. But when the offense didn't get a yard before the Buccaneers had 24 points on the board.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just sounded like somebody's get somebody's getting murdered in the other room.
Yeah, someone might be.
Well, well, or somebody could
No,
be.
I think she's doing the murdering. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna afterwards.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Yeah, she's preparing, I think, for the murder.
Oh, good. Hopefully she's dextering the living room.
I'm
Don't want,
sure.
don't want to get that anywhere,
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that cleaning bill.
Yeah. And listen, I'll come by to pick up my Eagle things after you're gone. She doesn't
Okay.
have to do anything. I'll take everything down. I'll take care of it.
All right. All right.
I got it. Anyway, folks, so that was Tampa. We have the bye. Hopefully Lane and Devontae. I mean, again, I would assume they're coming back from concussions. You're giving themselves 3 weeks essentially. They should be good to go
Yeah.
versus Cleveland. And then obviously, AJ Brown had a slide shot. He was testing it to try
Hmm.
and play yesterday, but obviously chose not to. Again, giving him an extra 2 weeks, that's going to be great. And if there's no setbacks, we should be fine getting all three of them back. Hopefully we'll go into Cleveland healthy.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
also,
it's funny, before the season, we both said how we didn't like the bye week being this early. But man, the bye week came at a perfect time, as it turns out.
yeah, there's that aspect of it is you don't choose your bye week, but hopefully this is the most advantageous for us, with the injuries, and hopefully it's something that yeah we just are able to utilize, get healthy, and go right for the next chapter of this season. Speaking of the Cleveland game, you are going right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you happen to know anybody who wants lower level tickets, please let me know.
Okay.
I
I
know
take it Larry's
Well,
out.
I'm
Yeah.
selling mine, and Larry's,
Okay.
kind of on the fence. So if you know, he's able to kind of get his price for tickets, he'll probably sell both. Or
Oh,
do
I
you?
thought Finn was taking
Oh no,
yeah.
Finn apparently is going to the South Carolina Ole Miss game, which is this weekend, and I don't know how that
That means
factors
he's
in.
out for next weekend? Okay.
Maybe he's down there for a whole week. I do not know. I don't know how it works.
Okay.
Or maybe Finn's just getting his weekends wrong and just didn't want to tell me he didn't want the tickets.
Maybe.
Maybe, but or
Maybe it's more financially he didn't think he could swing it with going to the South Carolina game and
which
then
is
going
right,
yeah.
which would have been perfectly acceptable reason to say no dice.
Thanks, no thanks. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We asked a couple of people, so unless you know somebody who would be cool going with Larry and paying, at least market value.
Yeah. Market value, I might be able to get somebody to get on board with going with Larry. Maybe not. I'm kidding. Love Larry. Love ribbon on Larry, but
What's that? I'm gonna tell him you said that. Um,
I'll
so
tell him I
anyway,
said that. He knows I'll rib on him.
so Eric, 2-2, heading into the bye week.
Yeah.
Very up and down season.
Hmm.
So one week they look all right. Next week it's next week they're next week. What would you say is the number one contributing factor to the unbalanced nature of this season? Is it lack of preseason play for the starters? Is it something to do with training camp? Is it trying to too much to fix this defense in one off season? Is the defense weighing us down? Or is it the adjustment of all of it? Or is it simply Nick? Or is it Howie's fault somehow? Where would you had to put all your eggs into one of those baskets as to the reason why we have started off so shaky? Where are we going?
Look, I think maybe they try to do too much on the defense, and they count on a lot of guys stepping forward who haven't quite at times stepped up. Guys
Taking
on
a
that
taking
defensive
step.
line, yeah, guys
They're
like
relying
Jordan
on
Davis.
guys. They're relying on guys to take a step forward who haven't learned how to walk.
Yeah, look, like Jordan Davis, he's been wildly inconsistent. He had a great game against New Orleans. I would say a bad
So,
game against
Jalen
Atlanta,
Carter.
and Jalen Carter as well. And like yesterday, I had to wonder, like, did they take the trip to Tampa?
Yeah,
Were they
I,
just they
yeah.
just it didn't seem like they were even there. I would say that's a big factor. Just too much inconsistency, in particular on the defensive line.
So again. I'm not trying to.
This is a team that's been reliant in the past on a great pass rush, and the pass rush is not only not great, it's non-existent right now.
Yeah, I think what Josh Sweat theoretically got himself a sack.
Yeah, he's the reason we all get free Big Macs today.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you have the McDonald's app and the Eagles get a sack, you get a free Big Mac.
Oh snap! I gotta go to
Everybody here in the
McDonald's.
Philadelphia area, yeah, do it up, man. Screw them. McDonald's is serving billions every day. They can give us some free Big Macs.
Hell yeah! Woo woo.
So I don't get them
Um,
because my wife doesn't allow me to have Big Macs. She doesn't.
ooh,
She doesn't
I'm
like me to have them.
I'm sorry. Let's roll that back
Oh
and
God.
dissect. Your wife
Yeah.
doesn't allow you to eat Big Macs, but
Yes.
please don't stop me. But
Yeah. Yeah.
cheesesteaks and pizza and wings and probably other fast food items, perfectly fine. But the
Well,
Big
no,
Mac,
she doesn't like the level at which the fast food I eat. Period. But yeah, that's her one line in the sand item.
why? There are
Don't know. You'll
far
have to ask
worse.
her.
There are far worse items that I know personally, have eaten and probably eat than a Big Mac.
Now I'm curious. What items you thinking?
What do you mean? What items are you thinking? What did
Because
you have?
McDonald's,
What did you have for lunch today?
I had a ham and cheese sandwich today. I don't eat out very
No,
often. No, and especially not for
um,
lunch.
no.
No, I don't think I've gone out to lunch in like 5 years.
What? Really?
Yeah, like at work. Yeah, I mean, I always pack a lunch.
All right. Well, that's good at least.
Yeah,
Okay. So, all right, but come on. I mean, I've seen you
I'm
eat some.
sure everybody's very enthralled with my eating habits, but
I'm
maybe
sure
you
they
could
are.
answer your own question as far as like what you think the
I mean,
contributing
listen,
factor to this.
normal cheesesteaks probably aren't healthier.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming, right?
That's what I would assume. I tried to look.
More
I have
bread,
tried to preach the
bread.
virtues of the Big Mac, but they
Yeah,
fall on deaf ears.
I guess. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But so could you have a Whopper in theory?
Yeah, in fact, I had one over the weekend.
Why? Oh my
Now,
god.
also, that was the first time I had Burger King in a long time too.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't have Burger King mostly because I think I just get sick from it. Same with Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
Never have Pizza Hut again.
I'll see. I love Pizza Hut.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't like them. I do need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cut down on all of that, but anyway. Um, so what were we talking about besides you not eating Big Macs? What were we talking right
The
before?
Eagles. The reason why the Eagles are 2-2. Like, what would you
Oh,
say is
that's
the
right,
reason for
stack.
the
It's the
Eagles?
stack of the Big Mac. Got it.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah,
now connecting the dots here.
yeah. That's how we know.
Brandon Graham also had a sack,
Yeah.
which is very nice. But 2 sacks, I think 4 total tackles for loss. Not gonna get it done.
Mm-mm.
Considering they had 6 sacks, 4 or I'm sorry, 7 tackles for loss. Um, they had 6 QB hits to our 2.
Mm.
So, yeah, not great. Not great.
Yeah. Look, and again, like, and I think it's too easy. Like, that's why I didn't want to just name it as my number one reason why the Eagles are 2-2. Just the turnovers. Like, how many
Well,
times I said it
the
here on the air? More games are lost than won. And man, the Eagles are doing everything to lose games by themselves.
Well, listen, the whole Isaiah Rodgers, he didn't even know that pushing somebody into the kick returner was illegal. Did you know that?
Dude, that's just you got to know that, bro.
Well, that's one that's egregious as a player. It's egregious as a coach to not have, a gunner know that information.
Yeah.
That's truly what he's
Like,
going to
that's day one of training camp. You go over like simple rules and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not their rules
like
either.
you're a professional football player and you are not a rookie.
Right. Uh, so that turnover, excuse me, hurts his interception, hurts his fumble. So 3.
Three
Um,
turnovers. I mean,
did
it's been
we?
at least two turnovers in every game.
Yeah, we didn't have any turnovers, right?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll do it. Lost by 3 turnovers. We lost by 3 scores.
I mean,
Maybe there's a correlation. I don't know.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. All right. Well, listen. I don't know. I'm kind of done talking about this game, right?
Yeah. Let's turn the page then. Let's throw the tape out. Let's take a bomb to the trash can you threw the tape in.
Oh wow.
It's not us.
Okay. Well, since there's no game to really preview, um, I guess we'll be back on Monday
Yeah,
to
we'll preview the Cleveland game. Yeah.
talk about the Cleveland game. Um, hopefully by then I'll have sold my tickets. Um, cause yeah,
Are any of our other tailgate guys going down? Or should I
like,
try to connect with the old heads?
I don't know. Maybe we should all talk.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna
uh,
say that sounds like more of a discussion for our group chat, maybe not something to have on the air.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
All right. Well, Yeah, we'll break down, the Cleveland game. Hopefully, everybody's healthy and happy and ready to go, and, yeah, but honestly, folks, can we just cut it with the Nick Sirianni crap? Um, I
Yeah,
know
I'm
you
not
didn't
ready to pull the plug after 4 games.
I
That's
know
just
you didn't
ridiculous.
start it. It's
Yeah.
it's very media
Yeah.
based, but don't feed into it. Don't ju I see I see plenty of people regurgitate, what they hear, and
And the whole they're gonna fire him and bring in Bill Belichick, stop.
yeah,
Just stop with that.
that's not gonna happen.
No.
So, yeah, there's that, and then there's the whole Jalen Hurts thing. Instead of vilifying him and calling him, the worst quarterback and, blah, 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 how about we, I don't know, maybe kinda do a Trey Turner thing here. Is that
Look, I'd be about it. Cleveland
that
game,
that the
before the start of
craziest
the game, we all give him a standing
craziest
ovation.
idea? Is that the craziest idea to maybe go the other way? And instead of being assholes and calling for him to get benched and,
But that's kind of our
trade and
thing,
I know, but,
and it hasn't really worked out well
has
for us
not
like
really
that.
worked out well for
Mm.
us, right? We have
So
one
let's
Super
let's
Bowl
flip
in our
the
history
script.
of
Yeah.
flip the script, maybe be supportive of it. Maybe realize that everything that Jalen Hurts does involves 100 people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, "Oh, well, he did that, so that's all on him." There are other people involved, and I'm not saying he's without blame. He is.
No, no,
He's
of
the
course
one
not.
ultimately making decisions. Um, but he needs to be smarter about his decisions. He needs to be
Mhm.
put in a better position by his coaches, and his by the play calling.
Well,
Uh,
like you said earlier, like Saquon Barkley only gets 10 touches, or what is it, 10 or 12 touches? 12.
10 rushes, 2 catches.
Yeah, so 12 total touches. Look, when your two primary offensive weapons are out and your three best, I would argue your three best players on offense are all out,
Right.
then like why don't you, I
Try
don't
to
know,
help,
try to get the ball in the hands of your top playmaker?
right, and
And
help out your quarterback by giving
yeah,
him the best chance to where, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, well, he's this, he's that." Well, you know what? Maybe he's the game manager. Who cares? Who
who
cares what
yeah,
you label him?
when did that become such a bad term?
I don't know, but
You know who's a great game manager? Brock Purdy. And like, and
yeah, you
he's taking
can hate
his
him.
team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can hate him all you want. So does Jalen.
Yeah.
So is Jalen. Like,
Yeah,
people
I
say
know.
all
Everybody wants to discount that year because it doesn't fit their narrative.
right, exactly.
Just like they tried to do with Carson. Oh,
Yeah,
if you discount 2017, Carson Wentz was this bad a quarterback. Okay, so then and I kept having the argument. So you're taking out his best year. Why don't I then take out his worst year, 2020, and let's meet in the middle?
yeah.
Which nobody
Right,
wanted to do that because they
that's
didn't want to.
that's
Yeah.
like a boyfriend, who gets caught cheating on his girlfriend saying, "Hey, listen, if we just take out this one time cheating, I've been faithful. I don't know what you're talking about." Right? Like, come on, it's silly. Like, stop.
Oh
Just
yeah, all your actions build up to say what kind of boyfriend you are, and then same token, all of your actions combined to tell you what kind of quarterback you
right.
are.
And listen, he might be somewhere in the middle, and that's
Yeah.
okay. But one, he needs to I think the play calling kinda screwed him. He was asked to do a little too much,
Hmm.
with even less. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't
Yeah.
have his weapons, and then you ask him to do more? No.
Yeah,
That should
that
be
was
the out
irresponsible.
right. So listen, let's cool the jets on that talk as well. Be somewhat supportive for crying out loud. Just give it a shot. I know it's gonna feel dirty, and it's gonna feel weird, but listen, I'm in the business of wanting our team to win, no matter what.
I
Personally,
like winning.
I care about this right here, not what's on the back, but I do realize that the people on the back are the ones that are going to help get us there, and if
Hmm.
they are dealing with other crap that us fans are perpetuating, or exacerbating from the media doing whatever they can to be relevant, we're part of that problem.
Yeah.
So let's I don't know. Again, people can call me whatever, and I'm sure people will.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
will,
I'm just
but
sick
like
of it. I'm just
that's
sick of it.
yeah.
Let's it's exhausting. It's
Yeah.
exhausting being this way all the time. Like, you just the leash on with you certain people that you have with certain players and coaches are is
Mhm.
just minuscule. Maybe give them a little chance. Maybe realize that these players are human. Like, perfect example, Darius Slay, right after the game. I am
Mhm.
sure he got insane amount, and probably does every day,
I'm sure.
but an insane amount of tweets and retweets of hate this and you're a bum
Mhm.
and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know about you, Eric, but I'm sure if I got that every day, I'd want to defend myself in some fashion.
Sure. I know I
And he
would.
and he did, and he wrote something like, "Oh, well, I have 100, 150 career pass breakups and 100, blah, 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 career interceptions and blah, 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 and whatever, whatever." Basically threw out his career stats.
And I get it, but like
Well, and
yeah.
that's here's the thing where I wanna tie it all together. Was
Mhm.
that the right move? Probably not, but
No.
are
But I
you
understand
are
how we
you
got there.
well,
Yeah.
are you willing to say that you wouldn't do the same thing? Like, Darius Slay is a human being.
Sure.
He's a husband, he's a father, he's a son.
Well, look, you brought up the example of if something like that was happening at my job, so I'll bring that back to you. If something like that happened at your job, you work hard every
What
day.
what what if there are people outside of your work with signs saying, "Eric sucks, fire Eric. Get rid of Eric. He's the worst."
I'd probably give them autographs on my way in, but
Well, I don't think they wanna give you I think they wanna give you a couple of these.
I could have them arrested then.
But think
Aha.
about that. If you got that every
Yeah,
single day, going in and going out and going in and going out and going in and going out, one day you'd just be like, "Enough! Like, good lord, you don't even come into my job. You don't even see what I do. You have no clue what it's like to be me." You don't think that would happen? That'd probably happen in a week for
I
you.
was gonna say it would probably happen in a day for
Right.
me.
But what I'm saying is these people are human.
Yeah.
Cut them a little slack. That's all. That's all. Whatever. You can call me whatever, soft or whatever. It's just maybe we should try something different. The
Look,
definition
I
of
don't think it's soft. You
definition
just
of
yeah.
insanity is doing the same thing over and over
Mhm.
and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, what result do we have to go on? We have 1 Super Bowl. That was at this point now 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's a long time ago.
Well, I
My
mean,
son is
7
now
years isn't a long time ago, but like
my son is now 8. He was
yeah.
1 when he won it.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Well,
Anyway
sure.
anyway, I digress. I'll stop. I'm just saying, maybe lay off. Maybe we're part of the problem. And I'm sure I'm gonna get the old, "Well, if you can't play in Philadelphia, then get out, blah, blah, blah." Blah, 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 whatever. No, that's
Well,
the thing.
if we do that, if we just get rid of everybody who just can't be told how much they suck for, every day of their lives, you feel
Right,
like I'm sorry, people aren't gonna like people don't want to come and play in that kind of environment.
right, right.
Like, how
And
many years did we hear about how, oh, nobody wants to play here in Philly because of the way their fans are? And it's like because the Phillies had some success and we got behind it and we became supportive of it. Like all of a sudden, it was like all the baseball players were like, "Oh crap, let's go play in Philly." That sounds like. What if we did the same thing in Philly for the Eagles?
that's
Like,
exactly
what
what
if we just on Sunday when we play against Cleveland, let's just get out there and when the defense is on the field, we just go bonkers and we just are, what was the saying? 4 hours of hell. Let's give
yeah,
Cleveland 4 hours of hell.
yeah, I I think we should. Let's utilize what we do best,
Hmm.
put just a little tiny spin on it.
We
That's all.
just like you can be rambunctious. We can still be us
Right.
without the negative connotation to it.
Yeah, not everything has to be negative. We shouldn't be as negative on our own players sometimes.
Right.
When when a helping hand might be the right move. Again, a la Trey Turner.
Now, I will say, and I almost felt like it was tongue in cheek. Like if you remember the first game after the Super Bowl, when the fans booed when they were going into halftime because I guess they didn't have a great first half, but it wasn't terrible. I almost felt like that was us just kind of like we were doing it tongue in cheek, just oh look at us, we're booing our defending Super Bowl champions going to halftime, and I felt like there was some humor in it, like I looked over and I saw some people booing, but they had the big smiles on their faces, like they knew what they were doing. They knew they were feeding into it.
Well, then let's hope we use that same mentality of let's just get behind Jalen. I know, look, listen, I know a lot of people are behind Jalen, and I know a
Sure.
lot of people are
And look,
probably
I wanted to be successful. When I asked the question, is Jalen the guy? Like, I don't mean to sound like I'm saying he's not the guy. All I want to do, I want to have the conversation.
yeah. Well,
And turning the ball over 2 times a game makes
you're
me
right. You're
lean
right.
one way.
He needs
But
to clean that
I
up.
want him to change my mind. I will
He's
openly encourage him to change my mind on that.
not without blame, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
But
Um,
look, if he comes out and has a stellar game against Cleveland, and then has a
uh,
stellar game the following week against the Giants, and then comes out against the Jaguars, has another stellar game. Like if he starts putting together a streak here, like
yeah,
people
fine.
will forget about this rough start.
Yeah, no, agreed. So, all right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for us. Please make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, and share us on the Facebook and X and YouTube at Philly Sports, wherever it is, Philly Sports PSA. There on X. And make sure that you're following all the other shows on the edge of Philly sports. In fact, I think I have 2 shows more tonight.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you're a
I think
busy
one of our
man.
Tuesday show got moved to Monday for this week and maybe next week.
Oh,
Schedule,
okay.
whatever. But so please check that out. 8 o'clock, Birds of the Round Table, 9 o'clock, Party on Broad. Tuesday, Armchair Scouts. And then Wednesday, exclusively on the football or on excuse me, on the Philly Sports Alliance, is Turning Heel. You and Mike talking all things wrestling. And then on Sunday, we have the Party on Broad College Football Edition, where we will look over this past week's of games, talk about players of the week, Eagles targets to look into. It's where we give you a couple of guys to look forward to as the NFL draft is, well, coming sooner than you realize. And yeah, that's about it for us. So, Eric, any final words before we pop on out of here?
Nah.
All right. Gotta love it. All right, folks. Well, we will see you guys next Monday as we'll talk about that Cleveland game. And yeah, make sure you are locked into the Edge of Philly Sports. And don't forget to follow the Eagles Pin Pull Network as well, wherever you find your podcast. Uh, so for the Football Smack Talk Show, I'm Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody.
Go Birds.
Always.